I gotta get a pump.
Yeah, take a moment.
Look at us, man. Superman.
That weight is more than what Flavio Boccanini weighs, our other guest professional on the show, and Kevin's doing it for repetitions. Good job, Kevin.
Yeah. Every drop, every ounce, every piece of energy within me.
The experience of being much stronger than everybody else, I think that's an unbelievable experience. You feel richer. You feel that sooner or later that you can do anything.
What's up, guys? Today is Saturday, August 9th, 9 in the morning, 9:15 roughly, trying to shoot it for 9. Apparently, the time on X that is the most traffic, most people checking their phones in the morning and whatnot, happens to be 9 to 11. And I do want to do a 2-hour show on the weekends. And the 2 to 4 thing was kind of screwing me up because there's a lot of stuff that goes on the weekends and things you need to get done. So I think starting earlier at 9 o'clock in the morning Eastern time is going to just work out a lot better. But thanks for checking us out, guys. I want to first direct you to the free book. It's on my website, fezgarcia.com/free-book. It's a book of testimonies in Jesus Christ. There's 14 testimonies in transcript form. They were transcribed over the audio that it was originally in audio format, and it got transcribed into text format so you can easily read it and absorb it. I think it's much faster that way than listening to like a 3-hour. Sometimes I'd be interviewing some of these people for 2 to 3 hours. So reading it, I think, makes it a lot faster and you can digest it a lot easier. So that's an ongoing project. This is Jesus Lifts Volume 1. I have testimonies going back many years because I'm a collector of testimonies in Jesus Christ. And I'm trying to put together multiple volumes. This is only Volume 1, so I want to get at least 7 to 8 volumes I think I can make because I have over 200 of these. Not all of them are really great testimonies and really eye-catching testimonies, but there's a lot of good ones in there. There's a lot of really amazing ones too. So this one, I kind of handpicked some of the better testimonies and put them together in this first volume. There's a lot of other testimonies that are really just as good. So I highly encourage you to check it out and to share it with anyone in your life that is questioning God or questioning Jesus Christ, who wants to know more about Christianity and whatnot. So I'm also in the process of trying to get some guests on the show who are willing to share their testimonies of Jesus Christ, because I want to get that going on as well. Because a big focus here is faith and fitness, faith-fueled fitness, you might say. So what we're doing here, we're getting in shape, we're getting yoked, but we're also explaining that Jesus Christ, which is the source of truth, who is the source of truth, the source of everything that is good, is basically fueling this transformation. He is the source of everything good, anything good that happens to people. So, he is the one who is the most important. And in terms of priority, if I had to choose fitness or Jesus, of course Jesus would win it as well. Because I could share my testimony, and very briefly, I was addicted to pornography for most of my life. I was going nowhere. I was in my parents' basement. This is years ago, and I gave my surrender to Christ. I had this experience in the middle of the night where I was out of my body and I was looking at myself in bed. Someone might say, "Oh, that was just a dream." But it was weird because it was almost like, and my testimony is on my site too. But someone like in this dream, I was like looking at this artwork and the art gallery was all dark and it was this ominous feeling. I felt this unseen force pick me up almost like by the shirt collar. Like if you can picture the scene from Back to the Future with Marty McFly and Biff, where he picks him up by the shirt collar like this. I felt something pick me up like almost by the shirt collar and throw me through a painting. And as soon as I went through that painting, I was looking at myself lying in bed and I was, I saw this darkness in my eyes and it looked like I was taken over by some demonic force. I'm not even joking. So what I did was something told me to go back inside my body. And once I did that, I felt like I was no longer in control of my body, if that makes sense. I know this sounds crazy, but it's exactly what happened. And then I started praying the Our Father, and I prayed the Our Father 3 times. I said, "Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen." 3 times. As soon as I start praying it, though, I felt this vibration in my body, almost like something was repelled by me saying this prayer. And the third time I said it, I felt some things leave my body. I felt like stuff jump out of my body and just like hightail it out of there, like a bat out of hell, literally, out of my body. And after that day, I woke up the next morning. The day felt like completely different. I felt like a different person. I had this desire to know God more, to read the Bible more, and that's how I got into other people's experiences. Have other people had these types of weird quasi demonic experiences in the middle of the night, sleep paralysis? Started interviewing people and finding out more about it. So speaking of sleep paralysis, there's a testimony in this book from Chris White. Chris White is really great evangelist. He was basically an atheist for many years. He was in a band, and then he converted to Christianity. But life completely changed. Started sharing the gospel message, and he had the same things I was having, as sleep paralysis. And he's studied it like to a T. It's like a science. Like he's done a lot of research on it. But anyway, his testimony happens to be in this book, and you can check it out. Really great testimonies in there. That just happens to be one of them. The reason why, and I'm going to quickly say this as well. The reason why I feel that this is so critical is sharing testimonies and helping people to understand the reality of Jesus Christ, is because if you look around the world around us, there's so many problems, there's so much corruption, there's so much evil. Of course, a lot of people are trying to expose this evil, which is good, but ultimately it's a spiritual battle between good and evil. Just like the Bible says, it's spiritual wickedness in high places that we're trying to fight against. The only way you can win is not through physical means, not through, yes, sharing the message gets you to a certain point, but after that, in order for real change to happen, it requires prayer. It requires more Christians praying fervently, more often, more of the time, in order to bring about lasting change. So what I'm trying to do is get people to come back to their faith, come back to their Christianity, come back to the things that, keep us grounded in this world, and especially for our eternal salvation and all that as well. But, that's really the most important thing, more important than anything. All right. So let me first, but before we jump into the workout, I want to explain what I'm trying to do with this new workout plan, this new program change. It's like a paradigm shift for me because the first 4 workouts or 4 or 5 workouts that I've done here on this channel since I've reopened my channel and started doing videos, which is only a couple weeks now, is I've been trying to fit in on the weekends a workout plan that works not just for me, but for a lot of people out there working the 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, or sometimes even Saturday, who would be able to keep up their fitness routine, keep up, because a lot of times, so many people online who are in great shape, the reason they're in great shape is because they're in their 20s, they don't have that many responsibilities. In some cases, they still live at home. They don't have a mortgage. They don't have a wife. They don't have kids. I'm talking to those of you out there with all those things: mortgage, wife, kids, taxes, and bills, and things like that, things that stress us out. Um, Being in shape and getting in shape when those things are weighing on you is a totally different ball game. It's really much, much more difficult. Even for me, when I was in my 20s and 30s, I was working as a personal trainer. I was able to get in great shape. Um, and I wasn't married. I didn't have kids. I didn't have all these bills. I was living in my parents' basement, like I said, so it made things a lot easier. And these days, especially, I think there's a lot of people who are living with their parents into their late 20s and 30s because it's just so expensive and it's just so hard to even afford rent. Because sometimes these rents are even up to $2,000 a month. Who can afford that, really? It's you need to have a certain level of a job, and that's a whole nother topic right there. But the whole point is this is a work in progress, the Weekend Warrior project, the Weekend Warrior plan. And as I'm researching and I'm finding things out, I was listening to a really great guy on YouTube. His name is Dr. Nash Jocic, Jocic. You should look him up, subscribe to him. A lot of great information. This guy was a trainer and a bodybuilder, professional, IFBB pro for a long time, years ago, back like in the 70s and 80s when Serge Nubret was a huge name. He Arnold Schwarzenegger, of course. Like back then, if you look at the physiques back then compared to now, the uh, the bodybuilders of today kind of look like cookie cutters. They all look the same. Their musculature is very similar. It didn't have like a unique character back in the 70s and 80s, like Frank Zane. All these guys back then, they just had, I could name so many names, but they had like a character about the way that they looked. It was unique to them. It was unique to their genetics. Nowadays, the steroids, they kind of destroy that. And that's why I think you see classic physique is way more popular these days than the regular open class for bodybuilding. Plus, people don't like to see the big bloated guts with the GH guts. People who take growth hormone and insulin and all this stuff, and of course steroids. I think steroids are. I'm not on steroids myself. I think steroids are horrible for you. They're not gonna do anything good for you. They're dangerous. We shouldn't be putting our eyeballs on people who do steroids. We should be focusing in on people who are natural and whatnot and stuff like that. So anyway, Dr. Nash Jocic, he was talking about how like Serge Nubret, you don't see any Serge Nubrets today. The level of definition, the level of aesthetically pleasing physique that he had in the 70s and 80s and in his career, in his competitive career, is unrivaled. And it's because he trained differently than a lot of the people train today. He trained in a way that emphasized a high volume workout plan where he would actually hit. Now, this is according to a guy who actually trained with him and saw him do it in first person right here. So Nash Jocic said he actually went to France, spoke to Serge Nubret. He said he trained 40 sets of like one exercise at times, or at most 2 exercises. So he trained one muscle group, and of course he trained like 5 days a week or around there. And he would, for example, if he was training chest, he would do a bench press and like 40 sets of bench press, and the rep range would be high as well. Would be like between 12 and 20 reps. So that tells you right there that anyone who's doing that number of sets is definitely lowering the weight a lot in order to get that number of sets in. They're also really just focusing on pumping the muscle and hypertrophic effect, which I've talked about. But in my workout so far, and it's funny how when you jump back into your working out, you kind of forget some of the things that you learned on. But basically, I wasn't able to sleep. I'm not able to sleep most of the time when I'm after hard workouts like I've been doing past couple weeks. So I would like not be able to sleep. That shows you right there that your cortisol is too high. So you're basically stressing out your muscles, you're stressing out your body too much during the workout itself. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to lower the weight, and I'm going to show you this in a minute, but I'm going to just do bench press because I'm going to do one muscle group. See, the other thing is I was trying to work in too many muscle groups at the same workout because I said I only have 2 days a week. How am I going to do this? I try to cram in as like 2 to 3 muscle groups, which even that's a lot. And instead of focusing on one, and I used to love the days that I had time to just do one muscle group. Just that idea makes me feel less stressed out, just focusing on one muscle group rather than having to try to fit all this work in because you only have 2 days a week. So what I'm going to do, this is not from Dr. Nash Jocic, but this is from me. It's based on what he's talking about. My idea is to, over the course of 1 month, split the muscle groups. So it'll be upper, lower, Saturdays, upper, Sunday, lower. And then what I'll do is over the course of 4 workouts, like let's say 4 Saturdays in a month, right? So the first Saturday would be chest. Second Saturday would be back. Third Saturday would be arms, biceps and triceps. And then the fourth Saturday would be just shoulders and maybe some traps. So just upper body, splitting it up that way rather than, and trying to get a high set count and a high rep count, and doing it in a way that does not stress out my body as much. Because if you're working out and then you can't sleep after, you're definitely overtraining. See, like for a guy on steroids, that would not phase him. But for a guy like myself, natural, I'm not on anything, I'm in my 40s now. I need to probably lower the weight. It's not that I can't do a heavier weight. I just want to like focus on mind to muscle connection, lowering the weight, get a good pump, and try to get multiple sets of that. So that's what we're going to try experiment with today. I'm calling it the Weekend Warrior Project, trying to fine tune the perfect workout plan for the 9 to 5 person who just doesn't have much time to work out. But if you have maybe an hour, let's say, on the weekends, Saturday and Sundays, and you train in such a way that it's not completely exhausting and fatiguing for you, so that you can continue to do all the other things that you need to do. Like, for example, I've been building a deck. That's why I didn't work out last weekend, by the way. So I've been building this ground deck, but it's not as easy as you think. I've never built a deck before, but these is just one example of all the things that you need to do on a weekend. And of course, I have the baby and stuff like that, and she's a lot of work and she takes a lot of time. Thankfully, my wife is looking after her right now. But like I said, we're gonna try this system out and see if we can build a physique like Serge Nubret back in the 70s, who to me is the most chiseled, amazing physique, one of the most amazing physiques. Now compared to today, Frank Zane, also amazing physique. Compared to, so I'm talking about like these old school bodybuilders versus today. See, like no one wants to look like those bodybuilders today. But I'll tell you one thing, those classic physiques, people are all about Chris Bumstead style physique now. He's the most popular, I would say, the classic physique. That's what people want. That's what people should be going for. I think it looks healthier. But even those guys like Chris Bumstead's on steroids. I'm not ever going on steroids. I'm not ever competing. There's no need for me to go on steroids. I just want to be healthy. I feel like lifting weights helps you to maintain your hormonal health because it boosts your hormone levels, makes me feel good. I want to continue doing it for that reason. Don't want to stress out my body. I don't want to not be able to sleep after workouts because that's what happens on the weekends. Because I've been trying this for 4 weeks now, guys. So this is a shift. It's a shift in the way I'm going to be working out. And just to give you a quick update, I did lose some weight already, mainly from diet. So I don't look as fat. So mainly from diet, I'm around 217, 218 right now. Now I'm 5'8", so that's still a lot for my frame. But I probably lost altogether maybe 10 to 12 pounds so far. So that's good because I was up at 230. That's just from diet because I weigh everything I eat. Counting calories, by the way, is just the only way I know how to lose weight. I don't like to chance it and just eat fruit or just eat, vegetables. No, I like to count everything. So that's the only way I can consistently and mathematically lose weight. But that's a separate issue as well. So what else I want to mention? Okay, so yes, this is what we're going to try today. We're going to try high set count. I'm not going to get 40 sets. I'm going to shoot for 10. Okay. I haven't been working out for years. This is just getting back into it. We're also going to do a high rep count. We're going to shoot for 12 to 20 reps, 12 to 20 reps. And let's see if this works. I'm going to focus on the pump. I lighten the weight. Instead of my usual 135, I actually lowered it from 135. 135 is still light, but this is 35 and 35, which is 70 plus the bar. No, 35. No, it's not 35, is it? Yeah, 35. Instead of 45 and 45, 90 plus 40. That's 135. This is subtract 20 pounds from that. So now it's 115. 115. There we go. So let's do it. Let's hit our first set, shall we? Here we go. That was one set. I felt good. Lightening the weight actually helped me to focus more on the chest, more on the chest muscle, pumping it up. Got 18 reps, so that's good. I don't feel super pumped yet, but I will, especially after doing 10 sets of this. So we're going to try it out, guys. We're going to see how many sets of it we can get. Normally, I would only do maybe 4 sets. We're going to do 10 sets, maybe bump it up more than that. We'll see. But just chest, as I'm doing this, I just want to stay calm, keep my cortisol levels low as possible. I want to be able to sleep tonight. Don't want to overtrain. Like I said, I'm not on steroids. I'm natural. So I can't do too much. I'm in my 40s. So I want to be careful as to how I go about this. But I suspect that if this works, it'll mean that the average person, just by working out twice a week and splitting up their muscle groups like I'm doing, is going to be able to get in great, phenomenal shape just by doing that. You know, if you're lifting hard and infrequently, definitely. Let's see if it, for sure, this is the, I'm the guinea pig right now. I am the guinea pig so that you don't have to, I mean, you can try to work out with me and you'll be part of the project. But right now, at the very least, I'm the one who's a part of this project right now. The Weekend Warrior Project. Let's see if it's viable, see if it's a system that works. Like I said, we're lightening the weight, high sets, high reps, mimicking the workouts of Serge Nubret and his ilk back in the 70s and 80s. Those guys who were laser defined, who had amazing physiques, almost like what you would consider today to be a classic physique, but even better, I would say, than the classic. Plus, their waists were so small. If you remember, their waists were tiny. Like they had such like this vacuum. You would do vacuums, and their waists would be like super small. They had these big muscles. So that's the goal. That's, to me, that's what Yoked is. So let's do another set. We'll do another set, and you know, see how it goes. By the way, you can call in 313-591-0290. Share what your workout plan is. Share if you think this is a good idea, bad idea, my workout plan shift that I'm doing here. You can also share what you're trying to do to get in shape. Any thoughts you have on that. So let's do another set here. All right, just as I notice, what I'm noticing is, let me stand like this. What I'm noticing is I'm really getting burns. burns that I wasn't getting before. I got excruciating burns at like 10 reps just now. Second set, training this way. And I don't feel super pumped yet, but I think I will very soon. But anyway, I'm confident that this is going to work. So I think it's going to make it good right there. By the way, if you do want to call on the show, you can wait till like right now between sets, because I'm not going to pick up the phone when I'm in the set, obviously. So if you wait till in between sets, that would be, of course, a little bit better. We do have some topics today that we're going to discuss as well. I'm going to wait for after the next set to do the first topic. But just to give you a preview, it's about these robotic. They can actually make a robot look very human. And I think what they're going to do is they're going to market them as sex robots. And I just want to talk about how this is part of their plan to depopulate the planet, because there's people who are in control. They are psychos. They believe that there's too many people on the planet. And what they're doing is they're doing everything they can to reduce the world population. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But let's do another set in the meantime. Here we go. That was a third set, I believe, right? Third set. Let me tell you one thing. These sets are burning like no other. They are burning like a mother. And I'm feeling the full pump now. I'm getting some extra squeezes in the mirror. Just like that. But you know what's crazy? It's kind of brings to mind. I was working as a trainer at LA Fitness at the time. There was a kid who looked more defined and chiseled than anybody in the gym. He wasn't super big, but he had a lot of muscle as well. But he wasn't like he wasn't one of a juice head, clearly. He was a natural guy. And I just remember watching this kid train. He was taking like 15-pound dumbbells and just doing very slow, controlled flies like that. A little bend in the elbow there, of course. And if you looked at the kid's physique, it was laser sharp. So again, the lighter weight is going to work for people who want a bodybuilder look without all the fat. They don't want to look like a power lifter, which is like more fatty look. They want to look chiseled. They want to, have a flat, tight stomach, big, full muscles. So training like this, I can see it definitely working. Let's hit a topic. I don't know if you saw this. If you saw this picture, this was crazy. Hyper realistic female dolls are about to start flooding the markets this year. Look how realistic that face is. Check it out. Let's start from the beginning. Look. I think the eyes are super realistic. The skin also. The lips and stuff. It's crazy how realistic that looks. And clearly they're going to use them as sex robots. And I believe it's part of the depopulation agenda, just like the prevalence of porn and all this stuff that they're doing now with OnlyFans, which is a link to this. We're going to talk about that in a second. I mean, what they're trying to do is they're trying to get the population down because they think there's too many people on the planet, right? Clearly, this is not the case, because in order for that to happen, you would need the fertility rate to be 2.5, which in America, most families are now having like one kid, including myself. I have one kid right now. It's due to financial issues. It's due to restraints. It's due to a whole host of different issues, but it's because of the environment that we're in. I think it's stuff that we've been propagandized with since we're young, like go to college, get a good job, and this and that. And all the stuff they tell to women these days, oh, you don't need a man, and all the promoting the feminism and stuff. All that stuff results in a lower population. And that's why they're importing people from the third world. I think it's part of the reason. It's also because they're trying to buy votes like they did under Biden. But my point is, they are trying to depopulate the planet. They're using any means that they can. That's why they are spraying stuff in the atmosphere. They call it geoengineering. Who knows what this stuff does? Some people say they're trying to block out the sun's rays because they're going to try to stop global warming. I think that's just a front. I think what they're doing is they're spraying these heavy metals and aluminums and things into the atmosphere in order to affect the population and actually effectively reduce our fertility. That's why you see so many young couples needing IVF treatment and stuff these days. But, like I said before, the feminism, all these things, they make it so that people are marrying later. They're also having kids later. They're needing IVF treatments in a lot of cases, because the natural way is to marry earlier, have kids earlier in your 20s, when not only are you more energetic and be able to do all the things you need to do in order to take care of a young child. As you get older, it just becomes more hectic and more difficult. But when you're in your 20s, there's a lot fewer problems. There's a lot fewer fertility problems. The eggs are younger, the sperm's younger, the men and the women, they can do it easier. So I think putting it off and encouraging, they do this encouraging through movies. They encourage it through the culture. They try to put out the message, that Christianity is bad, that wanting a family is bad, even having kids is not an ideal situation, So they all have this messaging that they put out there that's promoting this stuff. Now they're doing it partly through this as well. If you saw this story, no thanks, get out of my face. How do I X this video out here? Close. There we go. So This is Lily Tay, who made $1 million hours after launching an OnlyFans on her 18th birthday. This is going to be the death of our civilization if this continues. If this becomes popular, if this becomes the thing to do, this is the end. Because what happens is part of the agenda to depopulate, I believe, is ruining young girls, not only their minds, but also spiritually. Because look, she's not even, I don't want to make a judgment. To my taste, she's not that good looking, but I guess she's good looking enough to get $1 million in a couple of hours of OnlyFans being open, right? So, in my opinion, this should be illegal. We want to live in a free society. We don't want to tell people what to do, but certain things are so harmful. And this happens to be one of them. You're making $1 million, but what are you doing? You're making yourself into an unmarriageable girl in the eyes of other men. Because a guy sees this and wants nothing to do with this girl now. Whereas before, they might have been interested in her. But this is part of why things are just so this should be illegal. I mean, if you want to let's at the very least, if women want to do this, put it in the age of 21 or something. But what the next thing is going to be, they're going to try to make it 16 and they're going to make it 15. And then the guys who are actually paying money to this girl so that she can get naked in front of them or whatever. I've never done this before. I've never paid for porn. Back when I was addicted to porn, I would never pay for porn. But the point is, the guys who are putting money out for this are disgusting. They are absolute losers. They're contributing to the destruction of an innocent young girl. You might say, well, she's the one who put herself out there. Well, yeah, but she's young. She's stupid. She's 18 years old. We were all stupid and young at 18 years old. I really hope that this does not become the thing. Viral social media star Lil Tay. Oh, that's why. She was a social media star, I guess, beforehand. Claims she made over $1 million from her OnlyFans page, which she opened shortly after turning 18 on July 29. Tay claimed that her adult entertainment profile features content captured at 12:01 a.m. on her recent birthday. The influencer was shot to fame at age 9 as a rapper and controversial content creator. In August 2023, Tay was the subject of a viral death hoax. So I guess she's not new to the social media online world. I guess she was the age of 9. She was, what? Her parents must have pushed her towards it at the age of 9, because at the age of 9, I was riding bikes and playing wiffle ball with my friends and doing normal kid stuff. And she apparently was trying to become internet famous at that age. Just 3 hours after going live, she made $1 million. On Sunday, she showed her 5.8 million Instagram followers a screenshot of her income from the adult entertainment site just 3 hours after going live. That's disgusting. Her earnings allegedly total over 1 million, about half of which comes from subscribers per Tay's post. We broke the F out of that OnlyFans record, the content creator wrote in her caption. There she is. So what, she buys a Lamborghini, is that? What's the point? Who cares? What, so you can get pulled over more by the cops? At a certain point, it's like, what's the point of having all this money? You just really need as much money as you need to support your family and your children, and that's about it. You don't need millions normally. So the point is, this girl only was able to make $1 million from opening up an OnlyFans because she already had an audience. She already had a base. She's been online since the age of 9. So she had 5.8 some odd million followers online. And she took that audience that she had and she converted it into dollars by starting an OnlyFans account. Thankfully, I'm glad by reading this, it kind of calmed me a little bit because it's not just any girl. See, the problem is it could be any girl though. She was able to do it because she had an audience. She's not that good looking in my view, but of course my taste may vary compared to your taste. But the thing is, any girl could potentially make tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars by opening up an OnlyFans in the first couple hours, right? It's like the first of this was the webcam models that you would see online that like you'd be looking at a porn page and then on the side you'd see like this live camera feed, it looked like, of some girl on her bed and saying like click here or whatever. I never got into that, thankfully. But you know, I grew up on Playboy magazines and stuff like that. That my dad handed me a stack of Playboy magazines when I was a kid and was like, here, you know, read this or whatever. I guess I was really a late bloomer. So maybe my dad knew that it would be hard for me to get a girlfriend at that age. If I was my dad and I had a son, though, I would not do that. But anyway, I think and it's one thing to see a picture of a girl who's naked in a Playboy magazine versus a live feed of that girl interacting with that girl. That girl basically, that's worse to me. They're both bad, but to me that's worse. So this is after China, by the way, just recently made a statement. I think they banned OnlyFans in China recently. And Xi Jinping made the statement that OnlyFans is a Western disease. I think it is a disease because the problem is guys and women, I guess, if they're lesbians, who are paying these people. I mean, porn is bad enough, but if you're making it like a money-making enterprise, where people are making money, like anyone could just make an account and make potentially millions of dollars. That's way worse. It's this might encourage young girls to try the same thing. That's what I worry about. And like there's a young girl who on her 18th birthday has no business doing this and becoming a millionaire anyway. I feel like she might have been pushed to do this by her parents who've been pushing her since she was 9 years old to be on social media. Maybe that's the case. It's just disconcerting. It's sad. And I hope other girls don't follow suit. I really do. So this is part of the agenda that they want to do to us. You know, it's really sad. Let's do another set. Enough talking. Let's do Enviro. Let's do it. Ready?
It's always a good time for slap poker.
Is it Enviro? Time for polka.
It's time for It's time for Booga.
Okay. Fourth set. Probably waited a little bit too long between sets on that one, but I was busy talking. You know, I kind of like to mix this topics in there. I think it's more fun that way. But anyway, I'm gonna do another 6 sets minimum, 6 to 8. I'm noticing I'm getting a good pump. You know, so that's good, right? I'm gonna continue this style of training for a while. I feel less cortisol, which is also another good thing, because I want to be able to sleep. I want to be able to recover. Tomorrow is going to be lower day, just a preview. We're going to do quads, just quads. Then the following Sunday, hamstrings and calves. That's it. So I'm going to switch back and forth. It's going to be quads and maybe core. We had to decide. And then the next following Sunday would be hamstrings and then calves. So that's how we'll split it up. But the Saturday workout will be split into 4. Sunday workout will be split into 2. Hit everything, hit all muscle groups. And in the midweek, we're doing 1 cardio / circuit based workout. This past 2 Wednesdays, what I've done is I've gone out to the soccer field with like a soccer ball. Trying out these new cleats. They're really tight on my ankle though, so I get blisters. It reminded me, it's like back in my old days, like here we go again with blisters after wearing my soccer cleats. I need to wear a thicker sock is what I need to do. But anyway, I was out on the soccer field and I was just doing some wind sprints. I was doing some drills just by myself. I do a scissor and then I would move to the right, kick on, take a shot on goal, that type of stuff. And, I'd pretend like there was a breakaway and I had the soccer ball and I was going down the right wing and then doing a cross, like doing a cross to invisible player for the header. I used to love soccer. I'm still trying to figure out if I should start join one of those adult leagues, because that would be fun. Because I do those like let's say on a Wednesday after work. But then I said, you know what? I don't want to be a liability right now because I don't trust myself. Like I'm not in good cardio shape right now. I'm not good soccer shape. So if I were to join the team, I'd be a liability to my teammates because I'm not in the best shape, and I could potentially hurt myself as well. Like trying to keep up with these guys who are in much better shape than me, because I could potentially hurt myself. So I decided that I'm not going to join the adult soccer league this year, but what I'm going to do for next year is I'm going to kind of like, lose the weight. Right now I'm at 218. I want to try to get down to 205, maybe even 202. Maintain the musculature, or even grow the musculature, and then of course continue doing the soccer drills and stuff like once a week. And then by the time next year rolls around, I think that might be a good time to join an adult league. And that way I can, I have to get some turf shoes though, because you can't use like molded cleats on a turf field. Otherwise you'll screw up the field. So they don't allow that. Okay. Let's do another set, guys. This time let's listen to, actually, let's do this one. What is that noise? Sorry about that. It's like, where's that noise coming from? It's coming from one of my open windows. All right, let's try it again here. There we go. Oh man, I lost count of sets. That's set number 6, I think. Some people say bench press, you're not isolating your pecs as well as if you were to do like a fly on an incline bench or this motion with dumbbells. And to an extent, may be true sometimes. But right now, I'm telling you right now, doing it this way, lighting the weight, I'm getting really good isolation, really good burns, good pump. And the beauty is, I'm already at set number 6. I'm shooting for 10 to 12 sets. And I don't feel overly stressed. I don't feel super build up of cortisol, which is good. I'm trying to keep my mind calm. Because I was talking about this in other live workouts. I say, there's this guy who I used to know. He was an owner of a powerlifting gym. He was a powerlifter himself. He had many records that he would put up on the wall, all the state records or whatever in powerlifting. He's a big guy. He didn't look like a bodybuilder though, but he kind of looked like a powerlifter, normal powerlifter. But in order to get his lifts, he would hit himself in the head with a metal folding chair. This is true. I saw him do it. And he'd get really angry. He probably even thought about people he really hated and despised. And he was just channeling all that anger, hate, and rage. I get angry when I stub my toe. But he channeled all that into that lift. And that's how he was able to, he used that as a strategy, I guess, for how to lift heavy weight. Now, what I'm doing is the complete opposite of that. Number one, I'm not training like a power lifter. I don't care how much weight I'm lifting. We're lifting a light amount of weight right now. We're doing lots of sets. The funny thing is this. Lighting the weight like this requires more sets because now I feel like my body's asking for more sets when the weight is lighter like this. But we're not trying to engage the CNS. We're not trying to engage the adrenal glands. We're not trying to engage any mental help on these lifts. We want it to be all on the muscle tissue itself. And that's going to make the difference for each of these lifts. Let's do another set. You know what's really weird is that as I'm training like this is what, the 7th set, I guess. My muscles are in the pump state longer. I noticed that they're staying in a pump state longer than if I normally I would do like 4 sets. It would be heavier, so that more of that weight was like trying to stabilize that weight using my shoulders and my triceps probably. Lightening the weight like this, I know it doesn't look as impressive. It's like I got 2 25s and 4 or 5 pound plates on, 2 on each side. It doesn't look impressive, but who cares? Doesn't matter. You're getting better muscle isolation, and they say actually expresses more growth hormone too. Training like this. So that was set number 7. Still feeling a good pump. So my point was, normally I do like 4 sets. By the 4th set, I would get like a pump, 1 pump. Doing it like this, I'm getting pump after pump after pump. And if I don't wait too long in between sets, I can see that you're actually getting even, almost like you're blowing up a balloon, but you're doing it to like 1% more than it would be before. Now it's 2% more. So it's like pumping extra, I guess, blood into the muscle. So and it looks like there's like an ideal rest time. So if I wait too long, then it doesn't add to the cumulative pump. But if I wait the right amount, I'll be able to get a good set and it'll add to the cumulative pump. So we'll do another topic though in a little bit. Again, call on the show 313-591-0290, preferably when I'm in between the sets. And the other topic we're going to hit on today is the topic of 5G, because I happen to know a lot about this. I'll show you a video showing that there's like one side of a tree which is closer to the 5G. Nothing's growing on that side, but on the other side of the tree, everything's growing normal. There's other videos that are similar to that. And I'm going to share my experiences because I have a 5G proof house that I've built by using Ayers Tech medallions and technology. I'm not wearing my Ayers Tech today. I should have, but I'll talk a little bit about what I think about 5G and Wi-Fi and if it's affecting our health, which I think it is. Because I can feel a difference from back in the day when I was growing up in the 90s to today, and the prevalence of 5G and Wi-Fi is everywhere. I definitely feel that that's also had an impact on our health. RFK Jr. talks about it. He's won court cases on it, he says. So it's kind of interesting, but we'll talk about that in a second. Let's hit this again, guys. Ready? I'll try to do another rest pause like I did on my 4th or 5th set. Let's see if we can get more. I got to dance this one out, guys. You know, I'm finding I'm losing count of how many sets I'm doing because as I'm doing the set itself, I'm counting the reps. And then I have all these numbers in my head. And I don't know how many sets I did, but I think I did 8 sets so far. Again, if you're just tuning in, we're doing an experiment. We're going 10 to 12 sets per muscle group rather than 3 to 4 sets and try to split up 2 to 3 muscle groups. And we're going to do this over the course of a month, weekend training only. And the purpose of this is to maximize muscle growth, get that classic physique back from the 70s and 80s, that style. We want to look like those types of bodybuilders and not like the steroid, gearheads of today. And I think it could be done. I'm definitely feeling more of a pump than I normally get. I feel like my triceps are trying to come into it a little bit now because this gets a little bit more fatigued. So there's a limit, there's a sweet spot. As I said before, Serge Nubret, according to Dr. Nash Jocic, you could look this up on YouTube, Jocic is his name. He says that Serge Nubret used to do 40 sets of bench press on chest day. And I don't think I'm going to get there. But based on how it's been going, and I'm doing slow controlled reps, of course, I think I can probably get 10 to 12 at least, maybe even 13. We'll see how this goes. We also are limited by time. But so far I've been streaming for about an hour and 10. So we're doing a 2-hour stream today, guys. We are also going to hit on another topic relating to 5G in my experiences with it. But I think we should hit another set first. What else did I want to say? Oh yeah, real quick. This is a little hack for you, a little fitness tip / fitness hack. For those of you who, let's say you didn't have time to jump to Vitamin Shop and pick up some of your pills that you normally get, supplements. I fall into that category. I couldn't pick up my calcium supplements I needed to get some calcium supplements, and I try not to have too much calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate is, so they say, if you have too much of it, it could affect your arteries and your veins, hardening your arteries, hardening of the arteries and veins. But so calcium lactate supposedly is better. Calcium lactate comes from kale. Kale is a rich source of calcium. Comes from green leafy vegetables, and I'm sure spinach probably has a lot of it too. So first of all, I've been upping my calcium, my kale, I get like frozen kale from the supermarket, and I'll try to eat that as my calcium. But here's the fitness hack for zero extra money. Let's say you have eggs, right? What I did is I cracked my egg open. I had my eggs. I saved the shell. What you do is you take that shell, you put it in a bowl, let's say oven safe bowl, maybe one of those Pyrex bowls, the glass ones. Put that in the oven, 200 degrees for 10 minutes minimum, 10 to 15 minutes, let's say. That should kill all the bacterias or anything bad that's in that shell. People say salmonella. I don't know, but I used to have raw eggs, Rocky style, back in the day. I didn't really get sick from that. But anyway, if you want to be safe, put it in the oven 200 degrees in a oven safe bowl for at least 10 to 15 minutes. That eggshell will now be basically clean, and you could crush it up. If you have a mortar and pestle, that's even better. I don't have a mortar and pestle. I just crack it with my edge of my spoon, and I just eat it like this. No calories in eggshells, so no one have to worry about counting your calories for eggshells. But eating eggshells is a cheap source of calcium carbonate. And because if you look at chicken feed, like sometimes they'll give chickens oyster shells and stuff like that, which I believe is also probably calcium carbonate as well. But the point is they make these eggshells. That chickens make the eggshells using calcium carbonate. So when you consume it, you get the same as if you were to go to the store and buy calcium carbonate. So it's a cheap source of that. So I've been doing that. It actually works pretty well. If you have a strong stomach like me. All right, here we go. Not that it bothers your stomach, but some people are squeamish about it, All right, let's do another set here. Okay, I believe that was set 9. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure not everyone tuned in from the very beginning, but I think that was 9. I might have to do an extra set just to be sure and get to 13, according to my count, so I can at least get to 12, 10 to 12. Definitely still feeling a pump in the muscles, which is good. More pump for a longer time. Let's see if that actually adds to more gains, more muscle size, right? But let's hit this topic really quick. This is about 5G. Here it is. Okay. You know, a lot of people say 5G has negative aspects to it because it's a form of microwave energy, and microwaves aren't good for you, right? So it's like microwaving your testicles and things like that, causing you to have a lower sperm count than you normally would. Maybe that's why men's sperm counts have been going down, right? Is it because of Wi-Fi? Is it because of the fluoride in the water? Is it because of the stuff they spray in the air? Is it because of polyester that we wear as underwears? Is it because of the tight underwears? It's all these different things. Is it because of psychologically they've made women into these crazy feminists, and that actually has an opposite effect on the men, making them more submissive and more weak? That's another theory. But anyway, I think 5G has something to do with it. This is a video from Business Insider. I'm not playing the whole thing. It's just a short section of it that talks about the dangers of 5G that even these mainstream reporters are willing to report on. So let's listen.
Close to their home and thought their radiation exposure could be increasing.
We are concerned about the deployment of 5G.
Go to the settings and turn off 5G.
Your phone is hurting you a lot more than you think.
When it comes to radio frequency radiation, the type that comes from cell phones, we know that acute exposures, a really high dose all at once, can be harmful and cause severe burns. But that is nowhere near the amount of exposure you get from a cell phone. What we get on a day-to-day basis from all the devices that surround us is more like constant, low-level exposure. Figuring out the health impacts of that has been complicated, to say the least. In 2011, the International Agency for Research on Cancer, which is part of the World Health Organization, designated radiofrequency radiation as a Class 2B carcinogen. What that means is that there's some evidence a substance could be a carcinogen, but a strong link has not been established. That 2B category includes things like vehicle exhaust.
I think the industries, the cell phone industries, is not willing to study it because they don't want too many questions to be out there, because there's enough questions about it as it is. But I think it's a dose of common sense will really do you justice, because if you think about it, if they actually told you back in the days, let's say this is your cell phone, right? They'd say, don't put your cell phone up to your head because you're channeling Wi-Fi and, microwave energy into your head. And if you noticed, before they told us that, this is back years ago, I would be done with a long conversation with the phone up to my head, and then I would have a headache after, or I'd have like this weird pain in my head. I don't know if that ever happened to you, but I noticed it myself. Like, I'd be like, oh man, I don't feel so good after having that long phone conversation with my phone. And that was just a phone thing. That was just the phone signal. But that was before, I think. They did have internet then as well. But the point is, they also told us not to put our cell phones in our pockets years ago. If you remember, don't put them in your pockets because it's too close to your testicles. It's going to channel 5G and Wi-Fi into your testicles and stuff like that. That's probably a good idea. I think in Europe, there's laws that regulate the Wi-Fi internet more strictly, I guess, more regulatory burden on these companies to make sure that things are safe. Like, we don't have that in the US. So that's another cause for concern. I feel like she's about to downplay the impact of the 5G and the Wi-Fi. But like I said before, you got to weigh that with what you see with your eyes, what you experience yourself. I mean, if you have had any symptoms of, I don't know, brain fog or just dizziness or whatever from 5G, I have. You can call on the show, by the way, 313-591-0290, and we can discuss your experiences. But I actually got one of those mesh desk organizers that are made out of metal, and I put it over my Wi-Fi tower in my house, because my Wi-Fi transmitter is like this tower thing. It's like narrow like this. So one of those metal desk organizers with the mesh actually fits perfectly over it. So after I did that, this is an experiment, because I was like, man, is the 5G because I would sit near the 5G as I was like watching TV after work. I'd be sitting on the couch. The 5G transmitter would be like only a few feet away. And I was like, I don't know, am I feeling this way because of the 5G thing? So I tried a Faraday cage. If you look it up, there's people who do this, and I've experimented with it myself. I've written about it on my site. You can make a makeshift Faraday cage using a desk organizer placed over your Wi-Fi router. And I noticed when I did that it almost like turned down the transmitter effect of the Wi-Fi. At least that's how it felt to me, because I didn't feel as, I don't know, I didn't feel as bad. And then I slept better and stuff like that. And then I started getting into the Airs Tech products. But the Airs Tech products are supposed to neutralize 5G and Wi-Fi as well. Airs Tech, AIRES Tech. I should put my affiliate link. I am an affiliate for Airs Tech, but I've never even posted my affiliate link on any of my content. So you can just like right now, I don't even have my link to give to you, but I can tell you because I bought, let me see how many products now. I have the medallion. I have the bigger the bigger square, and I have the large room rectangle that they sell. I have all those and multiple of them, and I've just put them over in my house, and they do work. They'll like protect that particular room, or maybe a little larger than a room in terms of how well it works, I notice. But if you get a couple of them, and they are pricey, they're kind of expensive, but if you get a couple of them, you can kind of like, now that I have the baby, I put one in the nursery because I want to protect the baby from 5Gs and stuff like that. But the other thing I'm gonna really quick hack I'm gonna show you is, check this out. On my phone, I take off my case, right? Check that out. I have aluminum insect screen inside my cell phone. Why? Because I noticed that the insect screen acts almost as a makeshift Faraday cage. Somehow it reduces the exposure, the intensity of the Wi-Fi, the intensity of the 5G, kind of reduces it somehow. I don't know how to explain it, but I think it's similar to like how a Faraday cage reduces the electrical radiation. But I find that it works. So I highly encourage you to do that. It's cheap. If you want to protect your exposure to these waves, just try it as an experiment. Like, what's it going to cost you? Like a couple dollars to get some aluminum insect screen. You could even ask some guy that you know who has aluminum insect. Can I cut like a small piece like this big of aluminum insect screen, put it inside your cell phone case, and tell me what you notice, because I notice that there's a lot less exposure from the Wi-Fi due to that. Anyway, let's listen a little bit more what she says.
But it also includes aloe vera, which I imagine most people don't worry about on a day-to-day basis. The reality is that there isn't much about 5G that poses a unique radiation risk compared to previous generations. There's even a decent chance our radiation exposure could go down due to 5G.
What is known is that for the same amount of data, 5G produces less exposure than 4G.
You might expect radiation levels to go up as we send more and more data. But one study out of Switzerland found that over a 7-year period, even as the amount of mobile data traffic increased 18-fold, the amount of radiation in the environment stayed pretty much the same. So it appears.
One study. They cherry pick data. Your common sense would tell you that your exposure to radiation would go up as the speed of is transmitted and the data, whatever. Like, so I knew that this is what this was. She's trying to downplay the effects of 5G. You can watch the rest for yourself. But I'm going to show you another video. This is from InfoWars, talking about what the insiders are saying about 5G.
Industry will not underwrite companies building out the 5G infrastructure. 5G is deemed as an emerging risk, as the biological effects of EMF in general and 5G in particular are still being debated. Potential claims for health impairments may come with a long latency. That's from Sonar's 2019 Swiss Re Zurich, Switzerland Reinsurance Company report. Final thing I'll mention before I go, 10K disclosure. Crown Castle International out of Houston, Texas, is a publicly shared company. They have a 10K disclosure they have to give to shareholders. In that 10K disclosure, it reads, if frequency emissions from wireless handsets or equipment on our communications infrastructure are demonstrated to cause negative health effects, potential future claims could adversely affect our operations, costs, or revenues. We currently do not maintain any significant insurance with respect to these matters. They have to let their shareholders know. I thank you for your time, and I encourage you, please, to take into consideration that right now in the United States, there are 418,000 cell towers. Over the next 6 years, that will go up another 800,000, a 300% increase. This is only just beginning. Thank you so much.
Mr. Weaver, if you could leave the documents with the city clerk, that would be great.
Okay.
Thank you.
City council meeting.
Okay.
Before I play what RFK says about it, he's been winning cases on the 5G issue. So if he's winning court cases on it, that shows you that there is harmful effects on 5G. So a lot of these mainstream sources, maybe they're funded by these industries, can't necessarily trust what they say. But I want to show you some other stuff. But first, we're going to hit another set real quick, because I don't know, wait too long before I hit this set. All right, let's do it. Ten sets. We did it. 10 sets, baby. I don't think I've ever done 10 sets of a muscle in a long time. We're going to get 12 sets, though. That's weird. As I'm getting higher in set count, it's like my muscles, they're not used to this at all. I'm feeling like a continued pump that is just feels way different. Feels like things are expanding in different ways that I haven't experienced before. All right, let's finish this topic about the 5G. Listen to what RFK has to say about it. Hang on. Turn that on. Okay. Listen to what RFK has to say about it.
The RF radiation from 5G is dangerous. It penetrates it disrupts the blood-brain barrier. It also is associated with glioblastomas and other cancers. And it causes a lot of other dramatic health effects. And there are literally thousands and thousands of studies in that. I've litigated on that issue and I've won in the Federal Court of Appeals. So, you can say it's a conspiracy theory, but the Federal Court of Appeals, I also won a case on Monsanto and glyphosate that it caused non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and that was called a conspiracy theory. What I've said about 5G is, yeah, it is dangerous It is underregulated. Other countries regulate it much better than us. And we need to protect our children. We should not be having these antennas on elementary schools. We should be warning people appropriately, do not put that cell phone next to your head. Because, we're seeing this epidemic now of glioblastomas, and almost all of them are connected to the year that you favor the cell phone with.
Here we go. Here we go. All the box falling off. All on the left-hand side.
I'm going to show you this next video. I talked about that before. RFK is fantastic. I love how he's an actual human health secretary who cares about people's health and warns people about the dangers of 5G and other things like glyphosate. I went over to Italian pasta since I found out about glyphosate. I no longer eat Barilla pasta, which is made in the USA, because most of our wheat is contaminated with glyphosate. Same thing with oats. I stopped eating oatmeal. I actually went on my way to get a brand of oatmeal that's made in the US that's promoted on the Detox Project, which is glyphosate free, certified glyphosate free. And that I noticed that oatmeal didn't bother me. The other oatmeal definitely bothered me. And I noticed that the Italian pasta, they regulate glyphosate use way more strict than here. If you get like the Chico pasta, or if you get another one is what's the name of that pasta? Anyway, just look on the box and see if it's made in Italy. If it's made in Italy, then you don't have to worry about glyphosate. That's the one I would get. Don't get the Barilla because it's got the glyphosate in it. But listen to what RFK is saying there. It's very interesting about the whole 5G thing. So you can't just blanketly accept what you hear in the mainstream regarding 5G. Oh, it's safe. It's actually no. It's another one of these things that there's people who are profiting off of the technologies and whatever. And when there's money involved, like, you can't necessarily trust it unless you get an unbiased source. But check out this other video showing how 5G tower is affecting how trees grow and leaves grow on a tree. So listen to this.
On the left-hand side of that tree, on the right-hand side. That's all right. Yeah. Right, well, look at the right-hand side of the tree. Look at the flap. Look at the bushes. Look at the green bushes. Yeah. Very nice. Look at the left-hand side. Dead. You know why? Because that's right next to it. Have you?
That's interesting, right? People say honeybees and things like that, birds are dropping dead near these 5G towers. And then you tell me, oh, it's perfectly safe. You could go to 6G and 7G and it'd be the same level of radiation. Like, you can't believe the BS.
Like that in your life. Got a light right there. The transmitter on the top. These 5G transmitters are lethal. If that's what it's doing to a tree, right next to a tree, think about what these are doing to our health.
There we are, folks. Look at this. Look at this monstrosity here. Right behind it, what's happened? The tree seems to have died. This tree just there. Look at the.
You can see the chemtrails in the background too.
Thickness of the bottom branches. And then look at up the top, dying at the top. Right next to this thing. Coincidence, or is there something more sinister here? Something more sinister. Why do we need these? There's another one here. This is top of long line. There's another one.
You know, the reason they need the 5G, by the way, is because of AI. They want to roll out AI everywhere. They want to give AI way more power than it has now. They want to use it as a tool to like control the masses through a system of economic control where they monitor what you buy and stuff like that. They literally want to go to that world, which is like a Brave New World status. It's crazy. By the way, I just saw in the chat, Panalito says, how you doing, man? What's up, Panalito? He says I'm big. Thank you, man. I haven't even gotten started yet. I'm trying to start this new routine. We'll see how big we can get. This is me actually kind of feel small right now. Maybe I have the muscle dysmorphia where I think I'm small, even though I'm not small. But I guess I'm still big compared to the majority of people out there. But I'm mainly fat. I'm still probably up there in terms of fat, although I'm losing weight. My stomach's going down somewhat. Let's see how it goes. But welcome. I want to play a little bit more of this clip also.
About
Check this out.
away at Blue Dragon, and then if you go out further, there's another one up further along the Exeter Road. You stand outside, where is it? That pub on the corner. I'm not sure, but yeah, you can see them both, one in either direction up on the Exeter Road where it's nice and straight. And why has the tree died? Why is that tree not looking very healthy? Oh look, what else we got? It's right in the air. Look, they're at us from every angle here, folks. No messing about around here.
See what I mean? Look, he even noted the geoengineering that they're spraying up in the sky. You know, people tell me that these are jets, but look at that angle of that cloud. It's an upward angle. What jet do you know that flies straight up like at this angle into the sky? No jets fly. Jets fly like this, right? They don't fly like this. It doesn't make any sense. So the narrative that they're putting out there is a lie. What else is new? And of course, they say, oh, you know, we're just trying to block out the sun. Like as if that wasn't bad enough. Like we don't want to block out the sun. They're saying, oh, we're going to try to protect the planet from global warming. Yeah, yeah. But you know what? They're spraying metals, heavy metals into the atmosphere. They don't, God knows what it's doing to us. We're breathing this stuff in. So I just pray to God that he protects us from all this evil stuff that they're trying to do. They're trying literally every single thing they can to lower the population of the earth. But I'm here trying to thrive and be healthy despite all this. And I hope you are too. And that's the whole point. Part of the reason why we're here as well. Listen to this.
You got that one, and that one, but why has that tree died? That was about 18 months ago. That tree there shedded a massive branch, wrote someone's car off. About 18 months, 2 years after this was fitted, funny enough. So yeah, what is this doing to our lovely big oak tree here?
Anyway, check out Alex. I'm a fan of Alex. He does good stuff. Infowars.com. But yeah, this girl, Business Insider, I wouldn't trust what she's saying. You know, just because she's got a big name behind her, she doesn't. I mean, I barely listened to what she had to say, but she only devoted what, like 10 minutes to the dangers of this 5G. So I don't know if I can trust that. We're at 10 sets, guys. We are gonna shoot for 12 to 13. I'm still feeling a good pump in my chest. My cortisol levels feel low, so hopefully I can sleep tonight, so I'm not doing too much. So I like the amount of work that this is on the body. So let's do another set. Let's put on Yosef. I have a feeling that I'm going to be really sore after this. That was 10 sets. No, didn't I say that was 10 sets last time? That's 11 sets. 11 sets. 2 more sets, and we're going to call it a day. I'm getting diminishing returns, I notice. Like the first, towards the beginning, I was getting really good pumps. Now, I'm not feeling it as much, but I am feeling blood going there still. Maybe it's that it's already pumped, so I'm not feeling like an expansion of tissues like I would towards the beginning of my workout. Maybe that's the reason. But this is new to me. Like, normally I would not lower the weight like I'm doing here and do this many sets. I just wouldn't do it. But we are trying to emulate the workout plan of like a Serge Nubret. This is according to Dr. Nash Jocic. I think it makes a lot of sense. Now, I didn't even get into his diet protocol. I should talk about my diet stuff too. So what I'm doing is I'm on a deficit right now, except for the weekends. So on the weekends, which happens to coincide with my workouts, I'm at 2,700 calories. Normally during the week, I'm at like 2,100 calories, something around there. And the purpose of that is what happens is when you lower your calories, your body kind of adjusts to it. Like by the time, let's say you start on Monday, by the time Friday comes around, like your metabolism will have slowed somewhat in order to like accommodate this new caloric intake. And that's not going to be good for your weight loss goals, right? So what you do is it's the zigzag strategy where you eat a higher calorie count during the weekends or for 2 days out of the week if it's not the weekends. And then you jumpstart your metabolism again. Of course, try to get more carbs in maybe on those days. Jumpstart your metabolism again. That way you can continue on the following week to continue to lower your body fat and to continue to lose weight. It's kind of worked for me a little bit so far. I'm going to continue doing it and see if we can continue to get gains. But Dr. Nash talks about how back in the day, like right now I'm using his, like, he's my source of like, this is what bodybuilders did back in the golden era of bodybuilding. And he's like, Serge Nubret would just eat meat. He would have barely any carbs. And that's how he would train. He would just eat tons and tons of meat, like 2 to 3 pounds of meat a day. And first of all, I don't even have the money to eat that much meat a day. Like a pound of meat right now is like $8 at the store. I try to get mine from Walmart as much as I can, but lately Walmart doesn't have the lean meat. They only have the 85% lean, which I can't eat. It's too greasy for me. So I'm trying my best with Greek yogurt, which is cheaper for the amount of protein you get. Greek yogurt. I also have PB2, which is powdered peanut butter, but they take the fat out of it, so it just has the protein left over. But that's still like kind of caloric for the amount of protein. You get 190 calories. PB2 gives you roughly 20 grams of protein. So that's still a lot of calories for the protein. So Greek yogurt, on the other hand, up to 25 grams of protein for 160 calories. So to me, I've been eating a lot of Greek yogurt, trying to keep my calories below a certain number, but also keeping the protein high. So I would look into Greek yogurt. I get the Oikos. The Oikos is pretty good. And I think it's glyphosate free as well because they're owned by Chobani. Chobani's on the Detox Project. All right. 2 more sets. 2 more sets, baby. We're just doing chest. We're just doing one exercise. Very boring routine, but actually is less, I feel less stressed, and we want to keep my mind calm. I don't want to put too much stress on my body because I want to get good sleep tonight and stuff like that. Let's do another set, baby. Let's see what we got here. 12 sets. We're going to get more. I could probably go higher, honestly. I can get maybe more than 12 sets. But as you saw there, 10, I was starting to tap out at 10. And that box is getting in the way. I don't know if you can see that box. They sent me a free elliptical, believe it or not. My elliptical, which I bought from Dick's like 10 years ago. See, this is what pisses me off, because this elliptical was a nice elliptical, but the thing that makes it unusable is the stupid iFit computer program that they try to sell you with the elliptical. So like they expect you to subscribe to iFit, where they do like guided workouts and live workouts. And I guess it can be cool if that's the type of person you are, but I like a machine that is disconnected from the computer completely. Like if you can control the elevation and the incline and all this and that on the machine just mechanically, that'd be so much better. Because as it is, when that computer console goes, that whole elliptical machine is useless. I couldn't even use anything. It was not functioning properly. It wasn't so basically I complained, still under warranty. So I lucked out on that, but they told me that they would send me a brand new elliptical, and they did. The thing was heavy as hell too. But they sent me a brand new elliptical to replace this one, but it still has the iFit. So I'm hoping that the iFit computer display or whatever, the console that they sell with these machines, doesn't malfunction like it did with this one, because then I'm gonna have to send this one in. Or get a different elliptical, but I have to figure out how to dispose of this huge elliptical. It's not easy. I'm gonna have to like call for bulk pickup from my neighborhood trash department or whatever, sanitation department. Anyway, let's get one more set. We need one more set of this bench press. We've been doing one exercise this entire time, and then we probably will be done. And so far, I'm liking this style of workout, just to let you know. All right, let's go out on Edward Amaya. Here we go. 13 sets. That was the 13th set. 115. Lightweight. But when you do 13 sets, it's not lightweight anymore. Physically could not do more than 10 reps, as you just saw. That stupid Nordic track box was in the way, stopping me from getting a deep squeeze, but I was still able to get a lot of burns. Towards the beginning of the workout, definitely got more burns. As the workout went on, I still have the pump, still feel the blood going into the muscle, but it's not giving me that pain, that burn pain. It's just not giving me that burn pain anymore. But I do feel like a flushed feeling in my pecs. If I go in the mirror, I noticed that I'm definitely still pumped. So that's good. This is promising. I'm liking this style of workout. We're going to continue to experiment with it. I'm the guinea pig. If you're doing the same workout, then you're also part of this experiment. So try it out. If you want to see me have success with it first before you try it, that's understandable. I get that. But tomorrow, we are going to hit quads and only quads. We're going to do a lot of sets of quads. I probably will mix up some wall sits, some regular squats. We might set up the squat rack over there. This is actually a low squat bar. It's a squat / bench press that does both, you know, and it's great. I love it. So we're probably going to do the same thing. Not super heavy amount of weight. High rep count, high set count. Really pumping blood into the muscle. Now we're going to see what happens tomorrow. I imagine I'm going to be super tender, super sore. Really DOMs, like crazy DOMs in these muscles here. So, you know, we'll see how that goes. I'm at 218, so we're going to continue going down. Let's see. Today's a big calorie day, so 2,700 calories. And what else did I want to mention? I have some other video clips I wanted to show you and stuff, but we'll do that tomorrow. We're going to just finish it out here. So let me know what you're doing. Call in the show 313-591-0290 if you are currently on a workout plan. Are you trying to lose weight, build muscle at the same time? What's your system? What's working well for you? You know, share your thoughts. And I'll play your voicemail because I probably won't pick up the phone, but I'll play your voicemail after the fact, like on the next show. That might be fun, interesting. And then last but not least, I want to direct you to my free book, Jesus Lifts. It's a testimony book with all testimonies of Jesus Christ. It's at fezgarcia.com/free-book. It's also on Barnes and Nobles and on a couple other vendors online, but it's also free there as well. I can't post it on Amazon yet because Amazon doesn't let you put something out there for free on Amazon. You have to put it out there for like $1 and then tell Amazon, hey, it's available for free on this other site. Can you price match it? And then they'll price match it, is what I heard. So I'm working on doing that. We'll see how that goes. What else did I want to mention? So a lot of great testimonies of faith. Like more so than fitness, Jesus is more important than fitness. Jesus in your life is more important than being fit and being in shape. Being in shape and being fit is just an extension of what's going on inside your spirit, inside your mind, inside your body. The body's the temple of the Holy Spirit. You know, you want to protect your body. That's why you want to mark it up with tattoos and fill it with junk food and preservative laden garbage and junk food. So you want to take care of yourself. So God bless you guys. We'll be back tomorrow. New time, 9 to 11 is what I'm shooting for because supposedly they say that's when like the weekend times people are online checking the news and stuff. We'll see if that's true or not. And let me see if someone else commented here in the chat. For God's sake, man, I don't want any free viewers or whatever. You're charging me for viewers. That's so stupid and lame. I hate that. Anyway, God bless. Take care.